Iraq increases US Treasury bond holdings posted by Walter August 16, 2019. August 16, 2019 9 hours, 6 minutes, and 48 seconds. The acquisition of the state of Iraq of US Treasury bonds during the month of June 2019 by 30.94% year-on-year. According to Treasury data, Iraq's holdings of US bonds increased to $34.7 billion, up from $26.5 billion in June 2018. Iraq bought US $300 million in June. On a monthly basis, Iraq's ownership of US bonds rose marginally by 0.87% in June 2019, compared to the $34.4 billion in May of the same year. The ownership of Iraq has increased US bonds since the beginning of this year, about $100 million, compared to its ownership at the end of 2018, which was $34.6 billion. Iraq ranked 31st globally among the holders of US Treasury bonds and the fourth in the Arab world, after Saudi Arabia, which ranks 11 globally and first Arab at $179.6 billion. The United Arab Emirates ranked 22 globally and the second Arab at $51.5 billion, and Kuwait ranked 27 globally and third $44.4 billion. The reversal of the U.S. bond yield curve raised fears of a U.S. recession as government debt yields fell for 30 years to an all-time low. Globally, Japan took the top spot with US $1.122 trillion in bonds, followed by China with $1.112 trillion and the UK with $341.1 billion. The world's total holdings of US Treasury bonds in June were $6.636 trillion, compared with $6.539 trillion in May. Parliamentary law reveals a proposal regarding the absence of deputies. Baghdad, Euphrates News, unveiled the Parliamentary Legal Committee, a proposal for an amendment that limits the absences of members of the House of Representatives. The vice chairman of the committee, Mohammed Al-Ghazi, in a press statement, that the law of the House of Representatives and its composition there are controls and timings for the absence. The deputy, who is absent 3 consecutive times in one legislative chapter, is excluded from the House of Representatives, but the most complex is the subject of deputies, those who have not been sworn in until this moment, and whose case has not been addressed by the law of the House of Representatives, nor by other laws in force, he added. We in the legal committee we have a proposal to amend the amendment under which the winning candidate is required to be sworn in 60 days after the first session of the House of Representatives, and that this proposal will be submitted to the House of Representatives at the beginning of the second legislative year in order to address this. The case is final. He continued, can be replaced by deputies excluded by the Electoral Commission, and not through the blocks, but so far there are no explicit legal articles dealing with the issue of deputies who have not been sworn in, although contrary to the Constitution, as it provides for the presence of 329 deputies representing the people. He explained that such a situation indicates a defect in the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is scheduled to resume its regular sessions on the 3rd of next month after the end of its legislative recess. It is noteworthy that Parliament Speaker Mohammed Al-Bousi said earlier that the candidate cannot be dealt with as a deputy only after taking the oath, according to interpretations of the federal court, stressing that this file needs a constitutional amendment, or address it through the election law is over. Japan announces historic decision on Iraq. The Embassy of Japan in Iraq has begun issuing visas for Iraqis wishing to visit Japan from inside Baghdad and Erbil as of August 20. In order to meet the many requests from Iraqi citizens wishing to visit Japan as tourists and to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Iraq, the Embassy of Japan in Iraq and the Japan Consular Office in Erbil will begin issuing all categories of Japanese visa, the embassy said in a statement. All requests, except for the cases listed below, must be submitted through the approved travel agencies in Iraq as of August 20, 2019, the statement said. He continued, the Embassy of Japan in Iraq and the Japan Consular Office in Erbil will receive the following visa applications immediately. Visa for those traveling to Japan for diplomatic and official purposes with the provision of an official letter issued by the relevant authorities in Iraq. And visa for those invited by the government of Japan or administrative agencies independent government in Japan, such as the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Japan Foundation, Japan Foreign Trade Organization, JETRO. A visa for scholarship from the government of Japan, and a visa for those in need of urgent humanitarian assistance starting from August 20, 2019. The Embassy of Japan in Jordan and the Consulate General of Japan in Dubai will only receive visa applications for Iraqi citizens who have a basic residency in Jordan or the United Arab Emirates. The Embassy of Japan in Iraq and the Japan Consular Office in Erbil will collect the visa fee once the visa is granted. This is the first time a visa has been granted to Japan from Baghdad and Erbil, where it was previously issued outside Iraq and specifically in the UAE and Jordan.